Thank you. All right. So sorry about that. All right. Well, basically, I was just telling you about the actual card class. So I'm going to just start at the 4-minute mark because that's where we're at here. All right. So the Movers and Shakers card class is a class of 8 cards. There's 2 each of 4 different designs, and there's shaker cards and movement cards. So it all features the Cutest Cows stamp set. And what I'm going to show you first is just my tip for stamping and punching a bunch of cows quickly. So what I did here is I just took a piece of basic white cardstock, I punched out my cow, and now what I'm going to do is take my stamps and line those up in that punched area. And so I'm just going to put that in there, and then I'm going to use my block to pick that up. Okay, and then I can go about and I can stamp a bunch of these and punch them out very easily. So let me go ahead and ink this one up. Now I could also go ahead and put this back in there, but that makes it a little harder. So I'm not going to try to line it up that way. But I am going to line him up here and just stamp him. And so you could do a whole sheet of these, and you could get a bunch of your cows done all at one time. This is great for when you're doing a bunch of cards. But watch this and how easily that's going to line up now. Let's see here. And thanks for sticking with me through the technical difficulties. All right. And then those are perfectly lined up. So this is a great little way for you to get a bunch of cows done and have those lined up perfectly. So use that tip. I'm going to probably do a short of that too because it's really, really useful for doing that. So as I was saying before my audio wasn't working, all of these cards are shaker cards and movement cards. So the first one that we're going to do is this one right here. And this is a pretty traditional shaker card. It just has the little things in there. But again, I'll show you some great little tips for doing that. One thing I'm just going to tell you, not only am I having audio problems this morning, but I also could not find these little tiny loose daisy embellishments. I have no idea where they disappeared to, so I am going to be substituting those, but don't worry, we'll still be able to make a cute little shaker card. So again, in my card kits, you get enough supplies to make 2 cards. So I always stack them all together so you have all of your supplies right there and you're ready to go. So I'm just going to grab one of each of those because we don't need all of them. And again, all the measurements are in the tutorial as well. So this is our card base. I'm just going to set it aside along with our little stamped goodies because we won't need those until a little bit later. This is the main stuff we need right now. All right, so if you are making these and you don't have the circle punch, you can use a die with this instead. And don't get caught up on the shapes. You can do a square if you want, or a rectangle. You could use any shape that you want. But I am using the 2 3/8 inch punch. If you buy a class kit, these will be punched for you already. And all I'm going to do, I'm going to put that all the way in there and just try to center that as best I can. All right. And we have all of that there. And then I'm going to go ahead and line this up on this piece of basic black. I just want to make sure there's a nice little layer or a little border around the whole thing. And we're going to use our adhesive to just put the little circle down. I don't want to put all of it down, I just want to put the circle down. So let me get a little more than I wanted there, but that's okay. So holding that in place, and we're going to lay that down. So I'm not doing this outside part, I'm just doing that inside part. And then I'm going to just pull that off of there. All right. And then we're going to go ahead and stamp the flower image right there in the middle. want those to show up. Right. And while we're waiting, let me make sure I've got this the right way. I'm going to turn this over, and this is a window sheet, so I know it's clear, you can't really see it, but we're going to go ahead and put that on the back of this piece. So we just want it to cover that opening. And it needs just a little bit of time to dry. So while we're coloring, we'll just set that aside to dry. And you can use the liquid adhesive, you can use your Stamp and Seal, you can use whatever type of adhesive that you want to. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just use a blending brush. And if you do buy one of the class kits, the blending brush is included, so you'll get one of those. I'm going to just put a little bit of green there at the bottom. And then I'm going to do a little bit of Pool Party. I'm just going to take some off here just so that's really light. I'm going to just do that around the edges just to make it look kind of like a sky. I just don't want any harsh movements there. Alright. And then we're going to color right over that with some Stampin' Blends. I've kept all my coloring really simple for today. Do not, if you don't have the blends, don't worry. You can easily just use markers. You can use watercolor pencils, whatever works best for you. So I'm using Flirty Flamingo, Daffodil Delight, and I think Real Red on this one. And then Lemon Lime Twist is my green. But again, use whatever colors you have. The nice thing about all of these cards is they're black and white bases, so you can't go wrong with any color. Let's grab our green here. And I'm not doing any extra shading on these. Of course, if you are a perfectionist and like to do that, go right ahead. I just wanted that part of this to be very easy for you to do. Oh, it's chilly in Kansas City. That's where my brother lives, so we've had really cold weather here in Indiana, but the last couple of days have been pretty much in the 40s and almost even the 50s, but it's dreary. It is gross out today. It's very rainy and foggy and just the type of weather you don't want to get out in. Part of the reason why you don't see my face today is because I just didn't even want to get out in it. Alright, so we've got that all colored. And I've got to grab some adhesive strips here. Alright, so again, I told you I lost my little flowers. I'm really upset about that too. I kind of wonder where they are. So we're going to use the iridescent shaker circles instead. Again, you can use anything to fill your shaker cards with. And I'm going to take a foam adhesive strip, and these are just like dimensionals but are in strip form. And what we want to do is we want to go around the edge of this circle. And again, I do include enough of these in your card kit for you to do this. But we want to just, you don't want it to show through that opening, but you do want to get it all the way around. This one's going to just about fit perfectly. I need to trim a little bit off, but most of it's on there. Okay. So yeah, you just want all of that sealed because that's what's going to hold your little shaker goodies in. Alright. Then I also want to go around the border of the card. So I'm going to do this. I'll put one, let's see, I'll put it here. That one got a little crazy. Yeah, if you've ever wondered what these strips are for, this is what you do with them. They are perfect for shaker cards. Now normally what I would do with the shaker card is I generally put my little goodies in there and then try to fit this on there, but we're going to do it a little backwards. So let me go ahead and peel off all of this so we are ready to roll with it. So that's just like the dimensional backings. Oh, thanks. Yeah, the nail art that got done, Christina Werner inspired those. So she had a really cute manicure, and I asked my lady to do it, or something similar. But I like to be a little festive for Valentine's Day. All right, hold your breath. Let's hope we don't spill these everywhere. So I'm just going to take some, and I'm going to sprinkle them right there in that center area. I'll try to get them as clean as we can here. They are definitely, this is actually a little more sparkly than my flowers, so I might actually prefer this. All right, I'm going to cover that up because they are a little messy. So the reason why I did the circle on there like that is so that I can now put this on and line it up. And that way, it's ready to go. There we go. And we're going to get that all sealed there. And now we have our little shaker. So you just want to make sure you push that down really good. Make sure all those little goodies are trapped in there. And there we go. We've got some little shaker and sparkle there. All right. So another thing that is in your class kits is this gingham ribbon. And you'll get a full roll of that. So I'm going to tie a bow around it. And my trick for doing bows is I measure 4 times the length of whatever I'm putting the bow around. So that's 2, 3, 4. If you don't like to do bows, if you prefer a knot, just measure 3 times and you won't be wasting any of your ribbon. So I'm going to just tie that over here. And people always ask me how I tie my bows. Honestly, I was one of those kids that didn't know how to even tie their shoes very well, and so I learned like bunny ears. I can now do this, but it's very hard for me to explain. But I always think if you have trouble tying bows on your cards, try the bunny ear technique, and that tends to work too. Alright, so I'm just going to get that there. And then, like I said, I already did all of my stamping there. We're going to go ahead and just put some adhesive on the back of this. And you can mail shaker cards. It will require just a little extra postage. And I would probably recommend that you put an additional piece of cardstock over the top of it here, just to make sure that it protects it. And let's put our cow on. I'm going to put the body on with just some adhesive. Yeah, if you're like me and you have a teenager at home, just have them do all your cow coloring for you. Put the head on with dimensionals. These little cows are just precious. And then a little one that says, "It's your special day." Go. And we've got our little cow cards. Okay. So again, I mean, both things with shakers are fine. I kind of like the little sparkles, although the flowers are really, really cute too. All right. Our next card is also a shaker. It is done with a clear envelope though. So I don't know if you've seen this before. Let me get my cows out of the way here. But this is a really easy way to make a shaker. And this one really probably wouldn't require too much extra postage. So if you're interested in that. So we're going to start. I'm going to just set some of these aside. We have to create our background first. So in my class kit, you also get the cloud border, which is from the Basic Borders die. This is great for just using as a template, and we're going to create some cloud cover here. So I'm just going to position it about there. I'm going to use my Pool Party ink again, and we're going to go right over the top of that just to create some nice little clouds there. And if you want it darker, you know, you go as dark as you want. All right, and then after I've got that, then I like to kind of turn it, move it a little bit, and just kind of fill in there with some more clouds. Again, you can do this as many times as you like to get the cloud look that you want. Okay, so again, that little cloud border is from the Basic Borders die. Feel free to you know, make your own clouds if you need to. And then we're going to go ahead and do grass here at the bottom. I'm just going to put kind of a wide wash of the green there. I want to have those cows on something. Again, really easy to do. And then I'm going to take, there's a little grass stamp, and I'm just going to do some random ones in there. You don't have to be perfect with this, just do as much or as little as you feel. There is not a wrong way of doing it. All right. And then the final thing we're doing on this card for our stamping is we're going to stamp "What's Moo with You." Right here. Oop, we don't want to do it upside down. Put it right here in the middle. Yeah, there's lots of cute sayings with this stamp set. All right, then I want to get my little cows. Let me see what happened to those. I know I put them here somewhere. I swear I need somebody just to be here to keep me on my toes. All right, so we're gonna adhere this one down. And on my cows, most of the colors I used pecan pie and basic black, ivory for the face here on this one. And then on the other cow, I did basic gray, basic black, and bubble bath. So again, don't get too hung up on the colors. You use whatever you've got at home. All right, we're just gonna make sure we got that one on there. All right, so of course it's cute, just like this. But we are going to take a clear envelope. These are one of our medium clear envelopes, and I'm going to put that inside there. So it's just like this. And I am going to use some Scotch tape, just generally any type of tape you have, you can use. And I'm going to tape this back, that excess from the side down. So I'm just taping that down on the back so you can see that. I left a little bit of space, but not much, okay? But just a piece of Scotch tape there. And then we're going to grab those iridescent circles again. And so whatever shaker filler you want to use, you're going to open that up and just add those in. And really, when you add shaker filling, you don't want to add too much, but you want to add whatever your heart tells you. All right, so those are pretty good. All right, then I'm going to take this little bit, so the little adhesive there, and I'm going to go ahead and fold that whole thing closed. I got little shaker circles all over my fingers now. All right. And then if you've got any other places that are loose, so like right there is a little loose, I'm just going to tape that down. All right. And we have our shaker. So hopefully you can kind of see how those move all through there. Again, this is a little less messy than the other one, but just works well as well. All right, we're going to go ahead and tie our ribbon directly around this. So again, because I'm going to do a bow, I'm going to do 4 times the length. Yeah, this one looks more of like a party card with those bright ones on there. hate tying bows on camera. So let's hope that looks okay. Good. Trim that. And I'm going to use some of the tear and tape to put this down on the card base because I really want it to hold very firmly down. But you could use just about any type of strong adhesive. I'm going to tape that ribbon down too. That'll keep that held in place. All right. Go ahead and peel those off. Maybe. I do have my take your pick tool, but haven't been using that. All right. And come on, this last little bit off. This is why you have nails, right? All right, let's get all this extra crud off of there. All right, and then I'm just going to layer that onto a piece of basic black. And then get those out of the way. Get our white card base. And we'll put that on there. Go. Okay. And we have our two shakers. So two really easy ways to make shaker cards. You know, I love the little envelope tip. And the envelopes are so economical too because you get 50 of them for like $5. They're very cheap. So you can make lots and lots of shaker cards. And, you know, experiment with the little different things that we have. We have rhinestones and all different things that you can put inside your shaker cards too. But yes, if you buy a class kit, you will get the little daisy embellishments as long as those don't sell out. I will substitute if they do. Okay, so our next card is a movement card. And this is a little slider card. So the little cow will just move along this track and moves back and forth. So let me get my supplies here ready to go. Still got all those little shaker circles everywhere. All right, we need one of these, one of these. Again, this is a kit that was already ready to go. All right. So if you've made a slider card before, there's different ways you can do this. You can do it with either washers like this. These are the ones that I have, which are flat number 6 washers, or you can do it with pennies. I've done it both ways. Both ways work. So, you know, feel free to do whichever one works best for you. And I need to punch another cow head. So, you know what? I have the one that we did earlier. So the one that we did on our template. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to cut the ears off. This is just a blank cow. And I'm just going to I'm going to use this as my backing for this. So let's set up our slider. You'll need 2 washers or 2 pennies, 2 coins. You can make it a more expensive card if you want to, but pennies work great. And I am going to create a little itty bitty dimensional sandwich. So I'm putting a dimensional on top of that one. I'm going to peel that dimensional off, that backing off, and I'm going to put another one. I'll line it up. Let's see here. Hopefully you can see that. Lining that one up and putting it on there, and putting another dimensional there. So I've got this little teeny tiny dimensional sandwich. Hopefully you can see that. All right. And then we are going to glue this to the back of the cow body. So we're going to put it right there, and we're going to set that aside for a minute to let it dry, because I want that to be good on there. And then I'm going to go ahead and put this part of the card together. So I want to just put glue on here. And I will tell you, if you bought the tutorial or if you've already bought a kit, I do have a typo in that. The measurements on these are incorrect, and so I will be going in and correcting those. So if you've already ordered it, I will send you out the correct one. All right. And we're going to go ahead and put this on here. And then there's another black piece for the inside. I'm just not going to put that on right now. And I want to use those foam adhesive strips again. So I'm going to put one at the top here. Oops, we're going to do on this side because I probably should stamp this first. Hold on. We've got to keep our wits about us here. We want it to say, holy cow. Let me find where that stamp went. Oh, here it is. Okay. Alright, so we just want this to say, holy cow. Right here. Okay. So, don't forget that. I think, actually, here's one of these that I actually had to do it a whole lot differently because I did it in the wrong order. And then we'll do one here across the top. And this just gives us even more room to do that. So on the back there, and like that. All right, let's see how this little guy's doing. He's doing pretty good. All right, so he is going to go right through there. We're going to put that washer right through there, and that's going to fit on that track. Now we don't want it to fall out, so that's why we're going to put this little piece on top. So you're just making sure. A little glue there. Again, we just want that to kind of sit there. Give that just a second. We've got our two little cow heads there. And I'm going to check and see if we have any comments I need to respond to. Alright. Oh, I'm glad you guys like all the little tips with that, with the ribbon and punching the cows. Alright, let's see how that should be pretty good. We're going to go ahead and take our backing off of this. There we go. And you don't want to put any adhesive on that little bit there. Alright. Now we have a headless cow. Alright. And then we're just going to put him right there. And we'll give him a head here. I'm going to put some adhesive here. There we go. And we'll just put a little cow right there too. Yeah, I think this stamp set is just adorable. It's so cute. Alright. There we go. Got that. And then you can add your ribbon if you want to. I think we'll just do a knot on this one so you can kind of see my way of doing that. And again, if you don't like tying bows, tie a knot. That works just as well. And this gingham just really kind of lends that country feel to this cow set. So I do love it. There we go. Get that right in there. And I did add a few embellishments to that too. You can definitely do those. I just don't have my little ones, but and then you can see he's just going to move back and forth and kind of spin all around. Now this opening that I created there, that was done with the curved label punch. That was actually from the holiday mini catalog, but it is a carryover item, and it is wonderful for creating those little tracks to make little slider cards. So it is still available if you want it. If you order a class kit, you know, if you do want a class kit, then that's already punched for you. Oh, thanks, Mary. Appreciate the thumbs up. All right, so there are those 2 cards. All right, so our final one is another movement card. And this one is a flip card. And I've done one similar to this before, but it flips up like this, so you end up seeing both sides there. And again, if you don't have a circle, you know, feel free to use a rectangle or a square. Any of those will work. So you don't have to have exactly what I have to do that. All right. So this is Real Red cardstock. I'm using the Most Adored Designer Series paper, which is from the Celebration catalog. So as most of you already know, it is celebration time, and for every $50 you spend, you can get a free celebration item. So I'm going to start by just putting this little piece of Designer Series paper on here, just right there at the bottom. And then I'm going to take that flower stamp that we used earlier, and I'm going to stamp 3 little flowers just right there along that border. Okay, and we'll color those later. I'll just set that aside. All right, this is where it'll get really messy, guys. So this is a 4 1/4 by 11 piece of Real Red cardstock. It is scored at 2 3/4 and 5 1/2. All right, so I'm going to show you how that looks. So we're going to fold it just like this. All right, and I'm using the largest circle from the Stitch Shapes dies, but again, use any circle you want. And what I'm going to do is center that right over this fold line so that there's an equal amount on both sides. And I'm going to take just a Post-it note to hold that in place. All right. And I'm hoping I can get my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine in the view here for you, that it's not going to be too much. All right, so I can. All right, good. All right, so the key with this is that you only want to cut this part right here. So you only want to cut up to that fold line there. So we're going to put this in like this and line the end of that plate up with that fold line, okay? And what that's going to do is that's going to make it so that we're not cutting the full circle, we're only cutting up to that line. So let me see if I need like 5 hands for this. It's much easier if you're not shooting a video at the same time. All right, we're going to put that through it. All right, let me get that all the way through. And I'll show you what we end up with. Let me get this back out of the way. A little bit of a beast there. All right, so I'm going to peel that off. And you'll see that it only cut that part right there. So do you see how that created that little flip movement? Okay, so it's going to do that. All right. And then whatever shape you use, so if you use the Stitch Shapes, you're going to cut 2 more identical shapes, whatever shape you use. So again, that's why this doesn't matter. You can do whatever you like on that. All right, and we're going to go ahead and stamp, 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 stamp. Lots of goodies here. I'm going to do my cow. We've got a little milk carton. We got all sorts of stuff to do on this one. I thought I had my milk carton already. Let's see. We don't need that one. So let's put this little milk carton on here. We're going to do one on both of these. So I've got 2 circles, so let's do one here. And I've got one over here. Okay. On this one, we want a cow body. So let me find my cow body here. Lots of stamping on this card. We want this little cow right here. Let's find his head. And there's 3 cow heads. 2 of them work with the punch and 1 works with the, you'll just have to fussy cut it. So, other cow head. Oh, here he is. Put that right there. And I did this on the other one too, where I just kind of over stamped on that. And then I want the one that says congratulations at the bottom. I'm going to do that. And then on this other side, we've got some little birds. They are cute little birds. There's one that's so teeny tiny, I refuse to use it because it is like so small. I'm afraid I'm going to lose it. But this little bird looks like just this little sassy bird, really. Very little sassy bird. And then there's a little rooster. And then, like I said, there's a little one that is literally, I'm surprised I haven't lost that stamp because he's so small. I want to do this. And I did a saying that says, milk it for all it's worth. Like I said, there are some cute, cute sayings with this. Let's get that on the block. Oops. There we go. And that's good. Got our whole mess here. I'm going to get all that out of the way. Yeah, there's that little bird. When I say he's tiny, he is like teeny, teeny, tiny. Alright. And I want to throw some green grass at the bottom of these. Just a little bit there. And again, do what you feel. It does not have to be perfect. Just a little grass wherever there. Alright. Okay, all of our stamping's done. Time to get some coloring done really quick. So on most of the cows, I just did basic black blends. There's 2 colors of the basic black. There's the light and the dark. I use the dark. If you want to do shading, just grab that other one. And I like using the little fine tip on these just because there is a little bit of, it's a little harder to get, or it's easy to get feathering on it if you use it too much ink on these small areas. This isn't a huge thing to color, so I like to keep it pretty simple. And we'll do his little tail. Alright. And then I used Bubble Bath with him. So on this one I do use the light. You could definitely use the light or the dark. And I like to put a little bit under the ears there. Okay. Just really keep your coloring simple, simple. And then for the milk can, I am using Smoky Slate. And I'm just going to color through that whole thing. Again, I am keeping it very simple. You are welcome to do more shading on these. Those that love to color, that's perfect. So we're just going to do both of these little cans. There we go. Alright. Get a little bit of pumpkin pie for their beaks here. And a little bit of the red. So you'll see I used, a lot of the same colors on both cards, or on all the cards. But again, because we're using, black and white mainly as most of our things, you can do whatever works best for you. throw some yellow in here. This is Daffodil Delight, and I think I used the darker of those on it. I'm just going to put that there, and then I'm going to throw some more pumpkin pie on that little tail feather too. Again, super easy. And then our other coloring that we need to get done are the flowers. Go in and do some greeny, or this is lemon lime twist. Good. And I think I did do a little more shading on my samples, but when you get the tutorial, it does have pictures of both, so you can decide how much you want to do. We're just going to put some daffodil in there. The Most Adored paper, if you buy a kit, you may get a different pattern, but they all go with the real red, so you will get one that will match. But I'm kind of sticking with the plaids mostly on my class kits. While I'm coloring this, I'll kind of tell you about the class kit. The class kit does come with all the pre-cut cardstock for your cards. You get the tutorial. You're also going to get ribbon, a blending brush, your embellishments, your foam adhesive strips, the washers that you need to make the little spinner card. There is a full supply list available, so if there's things that you need, you can order those. If you don't have the Cutest Cows stamp set and punch, you can add that on for $41.25. There won't be any additional tax or shipping because I can just add that into your kit. So that's an option available at checkout, and we'll do that. I actually just heard somebody buy one, so that's kind of nice. I'm going to go ahead and put this piece on the inside of the card. What was the pink I used on the cow snout? That was Bumble Bath. Alright, so we're going to put that on the inside, and then we're going to glue this one on that. So again, kind of show you here how that goes. I'm going to put it there. Maybe. And this die set is one that I really use a lot. It's very versatile. It's got your circles and your squares. It's got a nice little stitched border. So it's kind of a staple. So if you're new to stamping or you're not sure what to get, that would be one that I would say for sure most people should probably put in their collection. And then we're going to line this one up and put it on the back here. There we go. And again, I'm planning to ship those kits on or before February 5th, which is a week from Monday. So you won't have to wait too long. It just takes a little time for me to order them and get them back in. And I'm just hooking this around that corner there. We're going to tie that up. And again, I added some embellishments on the other card, and if you get a kit and you have those daisy embellishments, you'll be able to do that. There we go. And here's the original one. So again, you can use either, any type of that paper. That is a celebration paper. And there we go. So that is a little pop-up card. So again, all of the cards are, you get 2 in the class kit. So you can make 2 with your kit, and you have 8 cards total. These will be great for birthdays, great kids cards, but just fun cards for anybody. So if you have any questions, I will check back through the comments later. If you're watching the replay, just put replay in the comments, and that way I know you watched that. Again, all of the information for ordering is on my blog. If you just want the tutorial only, it's available for $15, and it has all of those measurements for you, all of the supplies I used, all of the colors I used, so that you don't have any questions about anything. So thank you all so much for joining me this morning. I appreciate it, and I do hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Take care.